Hi there, my name is Pasan. If you've been working through our iPhone projects, then welcome back. By this point, I'm going to assume that you are quite familiar with the prerequisites required for this course. If you haven't taken those courses, check out the prerequisites list and complete those courses before you start this one so you have a solid foundation. If you've done them all, then let's get started. For this project, I thought it would be cool to build a weather app to grab some weather data from the web. Weather apps are a popular category in the App Store, and in building this, we're going to learn some really important concepts like networking and concurrency. Let's call this app Stormy. We're going to keep this app very simple so that we can focus on building a great foundation and understanding how to interact with data on the web rather than adding a lot of features. Stormy will be a single-page app that pulls the current weather data for a specific location every time we refresh it. By the time we're done with this app, we're going to be retrieving our weather data from the web. But let's start off with a much simpler implementation. If you've taken the prerequisites for this course, by now you've worked with data in your app in the form of arrays and dictionaries. This worked for our purposes, but it's not common practice to hard code the data in an app like we did in these previous courses. Now that you know how to work with data, let's pull the data in from an external source to work with. Now, why would we want to do that? It seems like we'd be introducing some complexity by pulling the data out of the app. Well, there are a couple reasons why. We don't want data to be tied so deeply to our code. Let's say we're building an app for a small business that sells furniture, and we hard code their product information. Now, what if the business introduces some new pieces of furniture? Well, to update the app, they need to write Swift code, or we need to go back and release a new version, which means we need to go through Apple's approval process again for something as simple as new data. Let's look at another scenario. What if you're building apps across multiple platforms? In our small business example, what if the client wanted iOS, Android, and Windows Phone apps? If in those cases we hard-coded the data in each app, it would be a nightmare to make changes to every single app and re-release them. Finally, in a lot of cases, we're not in charge of the data. We're just retrieving it from some source, and all we do is handle the data and deliver it to our users. So, if we want to build more complex apps, we need to understand how to work with data that we retrieve from an external source. But rather than jumping straight to using live data from the web, let's take a small step first and use a property list. What's a property list? Let's find out in the next video.